It's another sad day here, folks, at the Rant Network, because once again we're dealing with terror, and once again we're dealing with the absolute unnecessary radicalization. It's amazing, but unfortunately not surprising. Welcome back to the Rant Network, everybody. I'm David Solomon. My co host Stuart Brisgell is still away on his well deserved vacation. We are the Rant Network, so get ready as we deal with this unedited, unfiltered, and uncensored conversations that cover everything from the latest news, pop culture to politics, and the quirks of modern life. This is a roller coaster, folks, of rants, honest opinions, pardon me, and diverse perspectives that'll make you think, laugh, and today, shout in anger. Sit back and relax, folks, as we explore the absurdities and deeper issues of modern life and society. Let's get back into the network, folks, where your voice really and truly matters. Well, unfortunately, New Year's Eve was really supposed to be about, if you were in the United States and Canada, watching the ball fall at Times Square. Bring in 2025, quarter century over, the start of Generation Beta, all these things, a little bit of optimism, positivity, you name it. Well, unfortunately, it didn't matter to one Shamsuddin Jabbar. See, his idea of New Year's Eve was kill, terror, attack. That was what you do to someone who's become a radical. That's right, radical. A term I used on Wednesday when I said radical Islam. Not all Muslims, not all people are radicalized, but he was. You see, Shamsuddin Jabbar, while we were waiting to hear more about his background and whatever, what was first told was he's an American, born and raised in Houston, Texas. So, shock of shock, he's an American. And then it starts to leak out a little bit of his Muslim faith. And again, I'm not saying all Muslims are radicalized, but you're seeing a pattern. We're seeing a trend in that these type of attacks are caused by those who are caught up in that radical Islam. All right, let's take a step back, folks. What are we dealing with here? We're dealing with a lunatic who rented a truck, drove from Houston to New Orleans, loaded his truck with improvised explosive devices and coolers, planted them in the French Quarter with the intent of blowing them up. It had bullets and screws. Sorry, it had screws and nails in it, not bullets. In it. He rammed through people. His goal, maximum damage, maximum violence, maximum death. That was his goal. And like a lot of these, there was no expectation of living afterwards. There was a one directional mission here. Now, when the FBI came out there to see it, all that mattered was DEI. All that mattered was let's not offend anybody. Let's not jump to conclusions. Let's not call it what it is. They refused to call it terror. What else would you call someone taking a car and ramming through people? Yeah, you could say maybe he lost control of the car. But when you open up the car and he comes up with guns and you start shooting and you find all the stuff that you do, of course it's terror. And then the FBI changed it. Yeah, it's terrorism. Folks, this is not something surprising. If you've been listening to the Rant Network here for the last 4 years, we've been talking about this. That radicalism is coming to a neighborhood near you. Before Christmas, it happened in Germany. Very similar. Someone plowing his car through a Christmas market, causing maximum damage, death, and destruction. Death, terror. We've seen this in other countries, but we've ignored it because we're afraid we're going to offend people, the people who are causing it. Now, we don't want to take a roller brush and paint everybody in the same vein, but call it for what it is. That the vast majority of these attacks are coming from radicalized Muslims. That's right. They bought into Islam, the radical part of it, the jihad side of it, the intifada side of it, and look what's happened. Why aren't we stopping it? Isn't there outrage in the streets of the US and Canada and the West? Simple. Because the people who would have been outraged are the ones who are thrilled by it. That's right. Have you been paying attention to those pro-Palestinian, which is really code for pro-terrorist marches? They're screaming anarchy. They're screaming death to America. Not death, just death to Israel. Death to America. Death to Jews. Death to Americans. Death to the West. Death. Intifada. Violence. Resistance. All these code words, which then leads to this type of event. Now, if you were also paying attention, in Las Vegas at virtually the same time, somebody tried to blow up a Tesla Cybertruck in front of Trump at Trump Hotel, also with the intent of causing maximum damage. Fortunately, the damage was minimal. And yet, there's no wake-up call. There's no alarm. There is no concern. In March of 2024, the head of the FBI stood in front of Congress and said there is a palpable fear and concern for growing terrorism on American soil, and it must be monitored and it must be taken very seriously. This is serious? This is what you do? Now, yes, far be it for me to criticize the FBI when you have lone wolves going out there and doing these type of things. But let's be real, people. When there was that bomber who brought liquids with him, crossing on a plane with the intent of exploding up a plane, it changed. The FAA changed the rules, and now you can't even bring liquids with you across. Not even a bottle of water. You can't even take a bottle of water with you through security in an airport. So what are we doing here? What change is going to happen here? Not just physical. We want more police presence. Wow, 10 minutes ago, you wanted to defund the police. There isn't money for the police. Hold on. You want to put those blocks like you have in Times Square where you don't want people to ram in? Sure. All that can be done. That's not the problem. But that's not what is going to change and solve this problem. Because you can block off the French Quarter and you can block off Times Square and you can maybe block off certain other areas. But that's not going to stop someone from trying to blow up a school, an office building. Sound familiar? Blowing up office buildings? The generation that's right now fighting and against, all of us, wanting to put the clamps on radicals, really doesn't know anything about 9/11. Doesn't remember when, Americans were attacked. But this is the reality we're dealing with today. And this isn't the last one, unfortunately. And no, this video is not about encouraging others. Please, this is not what I'm intending to do here. What the Rant Network has been about is about exposing the fallacies that you've been hearing. The fallacy at the government level, the fallacies at the media level, the fallacies on social media that's telling you one thing and another thing is happening. All things are good, but look what's happening. We won't deal with it because we're afraid of offending someone. That's what your government has been about. That's what the Army has been about, the FBI, all you name it. We're more concerned about diverse hiring than doing the job. And again, this is not about criticizing the FBI because they're not great officers and they don't have great people. But when the top is more concerned about hiring African Americans and LGBTQ community and not paying attention and putting the resources into the fight and getting the best people to protect us, you got to ask yourself questions. Why? Why do we want a military filled with beautiful people and a diverse looking people, but not the best army to defend us from our attackers? We're under attack, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're living in Canada or the United States or Europe, we are under attack. Media has let you down because they're not telling you the truth behind this. And now don't throw at me, Solomon. Those are those famous conspiracy theories that you and Brisgell like to throw out there. No, no, no. This is not conspiracy theories. This is fact. And if you only have to look in one country to follow the patterns and see what goes on, and that's in Israel. Because if you've seen what's been going on in Israel for the last quarter century, thanks to Yasser Arafat, thanks to Sinwar, thanks to Jimmy Carter, thanks to a whole bunch of Western leaders who empowered terrorists to find means to cause maximum damage. You see cars driven into people in Israel used for suicide bombing. This is not new. Israel was the test ground for what they were going to do in the West. You see, in Israel, you do have security. There is a heightened awareness. DEI, don't even talk to me about DEI. DEI is not about public safety. And they will tell you that. What matters is making sure that no one gets killed. That's the priority. In the US and Canada and the West, it's about not offending someone. And as a result, here we are. A lone wolf with the nicest flag in his truck. That's not a lone wolf. Folks, that is the pattern that is beginning. And it's come to a neighborhood that you live in. So yeah, what Jews have been living with and others have been living with since October 7, 2023 in America, physical attacks, violent attacks, assault, people, taking guns to schools, firebombing religious institutions, voila, it's now at your doorstep. You denied it till now. You said it wasn't going to happen. It was an isolated incident. Oh no. Oh no. Worse than that. It's the truth. It's your reality. So what do I say to you today, folks? One thing and one thing simple. Be aware. Be alert. Because guess what? They're coming for you. They don't care your color. They don't care your gender. They don't care your sexual persuasion. They don't care about anything. Only one thing they want to do. Topple America. Topple the West. Maximum damage and death. So let's get off this DEI banter. Let's get off this belief that, hey, we should be better at this. We should be nice people. Let's get off this whole notion that, you know what? We shouldn't be Islamophobic. Stop with these terms, people, because these terms are ridiculous. These terms aren't going to save us. These terms aren't going to protect us from the radicals, from these terrorists who've come in from the border, who've convinced people on social media that they should be radicals. Think about it. When the bin Laden doctrine came through on social media, how people were galvanized and found bin Laden to be right. Why is this step not evident? We need to stop feeling bad and feeling sorry. That's not going to save us. It's going to kill us. And what we saw in Germany and what we saw in New Orleans, just the beginning. Folks, we need to be vigilant. If not, we may be the next victim. Thank you for tuning in today to the Rant Network. Hope you made something out of today's episode and found something engaging and insightful. And if you're angry right now like I am, good. Write your congressperson, write your senator, write your MPs, write everybody. We need to stop this insanity today. Your support means the world to us, folks. So please, we look forward to having you join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern as we broadcast. Follow us on social media, share your thoughts, put it in the